Hey guys, this is Blueview back here with another video. So today's video is going to be my top 20 films of 2019. What a year for film. Well, last year was an incredible year for film. So many, so many incredible movies, and honestly, it was really hard cramming them all in a list, but I do believe this is my final list. A few disclaimers before I get into my video. This is my top 20. I was originally going to do a top 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of brisk through 20 through 11 quite quickly, and then 10 through 1 I'm going to talk a bit about. I've done reviews for some of them. So yeah, I'm not going to say loads about 20 through 11, so I know that will make the video drag on quite a lot. But I have a lot to say about all these films, so I'm going to struggle. Second thing is that I've not seen every film this year. You know, there's been loads of movies I've wanted to go and see, just haven't got the time to go and see them. Third thing is that if you're from the UK, you're going to know that we're getting a lot of December US releases here in like January and February. A few examples: we're getting The Lighthouse here in January, we're getting Bombshell in January, we're getting 1917 in January, we're getting Portrait of a Lady on Fire in January, we're getting Waves in January, we're getting Just Mercy in January, and in February we're also getting the huge Parasite, which I can't wait for. There are a handful of other films. Richard Jewell we're getting in January. So yeah, there are a handful of films we're getting late. So those will be next year's list, because you know I'm from the UK. I'm going to put them in the list that represents the UK. And the last thing is that this is my opinion. We all have different opinions. This is my opinion. My actually second favourite movie of the year was a movie that I know a lot of people, didn't like. So yeah, that's the same with everyone's list. I was saying my top 5 worst list. I know there were some movies in there that you guys enjoyed. I just didn't. So without further ado, let's get into my list and start off with number 20. Coming in at number 20, we do have Avengers Endgame, the highest grossing film of all time. I know it's a very, very low spot on the list for what is, in many people's opinions, the best film of the year. I just felt the way they dealt with Hulk and Thor kind of annoying, and some of these sort of character decisions kind of annoying, but still nevertheless a great end to the Infinity Saga and definitely worth your time. Coming in at number 19, we do have the Netflix animation I Lost My Body. This is my second favourite animated film of the year and definitely think it deserves an Oscar nom or even an Oscar win for Best Animated Feature. Yeah, beautiful animation, amazing characters, one of the best scores of the year. Definitely worth your time. A very different film, but a great film nevertheless. Coming in at number 18, we do have Fighting With My Family. Such a fun movie. In my opinion, Nick Frost was the standout. Florence Pugh and everyone else in it was amazing. And it was great to see Dwayne Johnson and Vince Vaughn also. Really, really fun film. Really funny. Really heartwarming. Maybe a bit cliche, but I still think it's a very, very enjoyable watch. Coming in at number 17, we do have Dolomite Is My Name. Another really, really, really solid Netflix film. Eddie Murphy definitely gets one of my favourite and most funny and over-the-top performances of the year. I still stand by the fact that I think this is the best costume design of the year. The film may drag, some of the dialogue may be a bit strange, but I definitely think this is a really, really, really fun film. Coming in at number 16, we do have James Gray's Ad Astra. This film definitely features a really, really strong Brad Pitt performance. Probably his second best of the year, but still strong nevertheless. The visuals were stunning. It raises some really, really, really interesting questions. And yeah, it was a pleasure to watch. Did drag on a tiny bit, but I really, really, really thought this was worth watching. Coming in at number 15, we do have Stan and Ollie. Although I think John C. Reilly was great in this film, Steve Coogan for me was just so mentally good as Stan Laurel. His facial expressions were perfect. I did really, really enjoy the film. Although it may be a tad depressing, I think they could have added a few more upbeat moments. I still think it's really, really good. And if you like Laurel and Hardy, this is definitely the film for you. Coming in at number 14, we do have Rocket Man. Such a great music biopic. Taron Egerton was so good as Elton John. In my opinion, miles better than Rami Malek was as Freddie Mercury. I think if he gave this performance last year, he would have been walking home with the Oscar. It's a really, really good film. Again, this one does drag a tiny bit. But yeah, hearing Rocket Man again, that's all I really needed. One of my favourite songs of all time and one of my favourite musicians of all time. Such a good, heartwarming and eye-opening film. Coming at number 13, we do have another one of my favourite Netflix films of the year, The King. I still stand by me saying Timothée Chalamet deserves an Oscar nom, or at least consideration for an Oscar nom for this film. David Michôd gave some great directing in this film. The cinematography in this film was absolutely beautiful. I think a lot of people thought the film dragged. I personally didn't. I thought every scene meant something. And that end fight scene was incredible, and seeing Robert Pattinson with a French accent, I mean, what more can you want? Coming in at number 12 on my list, we do have the ending to the Skywalker saga, The Rise of Skywalker. Although I thought the pacing of this film was quite honestly quite horrendous, and some of the writing was pretty terrible, I thought I had a really great time with it. It was great to see Lando back. I really enjoyed seeing Rey, Finn, Poe. Princess Leia was kind of a weak point of the film. But it's a Star Wars film. I was smiling for the whole thing. I had such a great time. And the ending, seeing Palpatine back, was amazing. The visuals were amazing. Definitely not the perfect Star Wars film, not the perfect end to the trilogy, but a really, really enjoyable film nevertheless. Coming in at number 11, we do have the new A24 film from Ari Aster, Midsommar. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like this one. A lot of people absolutely loved it. I think I'm just a bit shy of absolutely loving it. I think there are a few things in the film that I would improve. But the colour scheme of this film, the dialogue, the cinematography, and the overall originality of the film was just amazing. Also, the acting, can't deny that. The film was very messed up in parts and it's very gory. And it is actually quite a scary movie, unlike the Conjuring films. And this is an original take on the horror film genre. Definitely watch this over anything in the Conjuring universe, because this is a new take on horror. Ari Aster is definitely a master of horror now. He is great, and Midsommar is nothing short of being great. So guys, we have made it. This is my top 10 movies of 2019. Now, kick-starting it off at number 10, we have Noah Baumbach's, hope I'm pronouncing that one right, Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story. This is such a different film. I've never seen anything like it. Adam Driver, Scarlett Johansson were amazing. Ray Liotta and Laura Dern were also great. Laura Dern was one of the standout performances in this film. But yeah, Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson definitely deserve Oscar nominations for this film. It was such a different movie, and I just felt I connected to the characters, and it was very emotional. I felt the only real reason this isn't higher on the list is because I'm 16. I have never been divorced. I've never been married in my life. So I guess I didn't find it as emotional as, people who have maybe been through a divorce or thinking about going through a divorce, or even just are married, would find it. But it was still a very emotional film. One of the best Netflix films to date. I'm looking forward to what Noah Baumbach puts out in the future. It is a slow movie. I'll give it that. It's a very, very, very good film nevertheless. Coming in at number 9 was a film I was really, really worried about. This is a film that I didn't want to get made, and it got made, and I fell in love with it from the first scene. That is Toy Story 4, my favourite animated film of 2019. Now, although I thought 3 was a perfect end to the trilogy, I thought this end was maybe a bit weaker, but still a strong emotional end. The characters in Toy Story are always been some of my most beloved characters ever. The animation is just as good as any other Pixar film. I think we've got used to Pixar animation and we kind of forget how great the animation is. Tom Hanks as Woody, just amazing. It was an emotional ride. I've been growing up with this trilogy, and to get a fourth one was amazing. Definitely lives up to the hype. Definitely, I know when the reviews came out, I was like, is it going to be this good? It is. If you've not watched Toy Story 4, go watch this film. It's emotional, it's funny, it's got a lovely story, and it is so, so, so heartwarming. So at number 8, we do have Scorsese's new gangster epic, the new Netflix film, The Irishman. I mean, seeing De Niro, Pesci, and Pacino back on the screen together was just so memorable. I've watched Mean Streets, Casino, and Goodfellas. Goodfellas is actually one of my favourite movies of all time. Seeing them back on screen together was just phenomenal. The score was great. De Niro was amazing. Pacino was amazing. But Pesci, for me, was so good. The way his character was so passive-aggressive and actually controlled the film was amazing. It maybe was over long, 3.5 hours is a huge runtime for a film. I think it's the longest film I've ever watched. Definitely worth the watch. If you've got Netflix, please go check out The Irishman. It will not disappoint. It is such an amazing film and definitely will be remembered for years to come. Coming in at number 7, we do have Green Book. This is the Best Picture winner last year. This one is a 2019 film in the UK. This was my favourite movie of 2019 for literally the first 6 months of the year until summer. This film is amazing. While some people may see it as quite cliche, I know there's a lot of problems with the directors of the film. This movie was so good. Masha Ali, I don't know how to say his name, and Viggo Mortensen, I'm sorry about both those pronunciations. They're amazing. Definitely both were deserved Oscar nominations. I'm pretty sure they both got them. The score was great. The cinematography in this movie was great. I just got lost in this movie. This movie was so amazing, and the Christmas dinner scene at the end was one of the best endings of the year. And yeah, definitely go watch Green Book. It is one of the best films of the year. Coming in at number 6, we do have my favourite Netflix film of the year. This is going to come as a surprise to a lot of people, since I know a lot of people found this film very boring. This is The Two Popes. I think Anthony Hopkins, the way he portrayed the character of Pope Benedict and the way he sort of showed the character progressing was amazing. But for me, the standout performance was Jonathan Pryce, and I honestly think he deserves the Oscar. I think he gives probably my favourite performance of the year. He was just incredible. His character, obviously Pope Francis, was funny. It was really sad watching him at certain times. And I think the way his character and the way their friendship progressed was so heartwarming. And that ending scene, I think it rolls up after the credits. It is just the beauty. It's just so beautiful to watch. And I was smiling for the whole film. This film's emotional. It's funny. It's just what I love about film. Please go watch The Two Popes. Please show this one some love. Since I know The Irishman and Marriage Story have got so much love, and Dolomite Is My Name and The King too. This one I feel like, although it's got good reviews, and not a lot of people are watching it, and it definitely deserves it. Since if this one wins Best Picture, I'd be more than happy. Coming in at number 5, my 5th favourite film of 2019. This was a US 2018 release. But we got this one in April. It is A24's Mid-90s. This is one of my favourite A24 movies. I think this is one of the best directorial debuts we've got in a few years. Jonah Hill directed the crap out of this film, and you can see he put effort and soul into it, and you can see that man has so much passion for film. I mean, we were always seeing that when, he was in The Wolf at Wall Street on, like, minimum wage or something. But yeah, he has so much passion. This is hands down one of my favourite movies of the year. And literally, I remember I had to pause the movie to go to an assembly in school. And for the whole assembly, I wasn't listening to the assembly. I was just thinking about mid-90s. This film was so entertaining. I'm not a baller. I don't skate or anything. I don't come from America. So this film may seem quite unrelatable. But honestly, it does have many really relative themes to growing up as a teenager in the UK. And I just thought the film was just handled every single subject so well, and features also one of the best scores of the year. Alright, so coming in at number 4 is my biggest movie surprise of the year, and that is no other than Little Women. I'm in love with this film. I don't know what it did, but I can't stop thinking about it. First of all, Greta Gerwig. I mean, what's not already been said about Greta Gerwig? Lady Bird is one of the best films of the decade. It's in my opinion the best A24 movie. Little Women is not an A24 film. If it was, it'd definitely be one of the best. The acting was amazing. Saoirse Ronan was great. Florence Pugh was great. Emma Watson was great. But the standout for me, like I said in my review a few days back, was Florence Pugh. I think in Fighting With My Family and Midsommar, she was, really good. But in this, she was just on another level. Her facial expressions alone just showed her passion for acting, and it was just amazing to watch. And I'm not even touching on the cinematography, costume design, score, dialogue. This film definitely deserves an Oscar for Florence Pugh, maybe even for costume design, while I don't think it's as strong as Dolomite Is My Name. Please go and show this movie some love. It deserves all the love it's going to get. I think even, a road man will enjoy this film. That's saying a lot. Definitely go watch Little Women. It is one of the most enjoyable movies of the year. And I feel like not many people go and watch, because it looks like sort of like a girly film. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it's a girl's film. I say, do you want to go and watch this? Oh, no, it's a girl's movie. It's not. Everyone's going to enjoy this film. It's one of the most heartwarming films of the year. Little Women was a masterpiece. Coming in at number 3, we do have Rian Johnson's new flick, Knives Out. This film is probably the movie I've had the second most fun with at the cinema. I just can't get over how much I enjoyed this movie. The acting was great. I think Ana de Armas and Daniel Craig definitely deserve Oscar nominations. They were both incredible. I also think Jamie Lee Curtis, the whole of the supporting cast was really good. Chris Evans was also great. I did like his sweater as well. I just thought this movie was so entertaining. It was so much fun. And the way he sort of brings like this Agatha Christie twist to it. Yeah, you see like this Agatha Christie sort of story, and then you've got girls on their smartphones and vaping. I thought the way they just put them both together, slapped them together, was amazing. Rian Johnson, man, you may have let us down with The Last Jedi, but you've certainly not let us down with Knives Out. It's one of the funnest films of the year. It's one of the funniest. most entertaining, and it's quite an edge of your seat film, since towards the end it does get quite tense. This is an absolutely amazing movie. Coming in at number 2, we do have Quentin Tarantino's 9th film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Boom, this film was a masterpiece. Let me explain why. This film was Tarantino at his absolute meta. Reason I believe this, well, I think this film is just Tarantino making a movie for himself. And I feel like that just causes everyone to enjoy it, since really what Tarantino enjoys, I feel like everyone else enjoys. This man is incredible. Let me list a few reasons why I love the movie so much. First of all, it's the performances. I think Leonardo DiCaprio was great. Al Pacino was great. Margot Robbie was great. The standout for me was Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth. I feel like we all need a friend like Cliff. He was just hilarious. He was badass. He was just such a cool guy, even if he did murder his wife. Other reasons I love the film: the soundtrack, the cinematography, the set design. Oh, this movie just I've watched it 3 times and I'm still happy every time I watch it. And the third act. Oh my god, that third act is one of the most crazy third acts I've ever seen. I thought the way this movie played with history, you know, it's kind of played with the character of Sharon Tate. I thought a lot of people found that very controversial. I think how the Bruce Lee scene, I think it's just how it played with so many influential characters in many people's lives was amazing. It was a controversial film, yes. A lot of people are going to say it's boring. A lot of people are going to say it's a bland movie. In my opinion, it's not. In my opinion, it's another masterpiece from Tarantino. It may even be my favourite Tarantino movie. So, my favourite movie of the year. This movie is really, really far ahead of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I actually gave Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a 95 or 96 even out of 100. This one for me is a 98 out of 100. One of my highest rated films of all time. At number 1, we have Todd Phillips' Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Oh Lord, this film was just something else. I've had so many years of people hating on me for being a DC fan. So many years of, you know, people I know being like, why do you love DC so much? Marvel's so much better. And honestly, they have been for the past few years. I mean, since Dark Knight Rises, we've only had a handful of decent DCU films. Sorry, we've had Shazam was great, Wonder Woman was great. All the others for me were going from decent to pretty terrible. And then this movie comes out and it just changes the game for me. This movie just left me speechless. The questions it raises are incredible. Joaquin Phoenix's performance is easily the best performance of the year. This is my favourite score probably favourite score from the past 5 years. Definitely going to get the vinyl of that. I'm getting the Steelbook as well. I'm probably going to get both Steelbooks for this one, the Amazon and the HMV. I was speechless after the movie. I think I watched it twice in cinemas. I'm going to watch it probably 3 times in a row once I get it on Blu-ray. This film is so iconic. You know, you've got the stair scene, the bathroom scene, the scene where he's dancing on top of the car, the scene in the hospital with his mum. Wow. Wow. What a movie. I just couldn't get over it. I still can't think about it now. You can probably see from how I'm acting. I still can't get over how incredible this film was. Masterpiece, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. This is the only movie this year I actually give that 10 out of 10 rating to. Yeah, go and watch The Joker if you haven't done so already. It's quite a violent film. It's not as violent as all the critics said. I know a lot of people were like, oh, it's encouraging you to sympathise with the Joker. No, it's not. It's really not. I mean, if you're going to sympathise with someone who, you know, literally kills people in cold blood, I don't understand that. I don't understand that argument. But yeah, go and watch this film. Joker is my favourite movie of 2019. What a year for film it was. Last year, obviously, since it's 2020 now. What a year for film it was. And honestly, I had some of the most memorable film experiences of the year. This year or last year. So guys, that is my top 20 movies of 2019. I hope you guys did enjoy the list. I've never made one of these videos before, so I'll probably get better as I make more of them. I'm going to make more sort of these lists, like ranking my DC films, Marvel films, James Bond films, you know, all that sort of Kubrick films, Scorsese films. So yeah, that was my top 20 list. Thank you for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Your support means the world. And guys, this is Blue View out. I'm going to see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your lists in the comments down below, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.